It's better.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 406 Budcast. We have MoTreats with us tonight, so stick around for an amazing episode. Make sure you hit that like, follow, and share, and we'll be right back just after this.
Antenna vibes under the big sky. 406 Budcast gonna get you high. Adam and Gina and Nate bringing the heat, no time to wait. From the mountains to the plains, let's fucking up, break your chains. Every topic, every strain in this cannabis domain. 406 Budcast, let's celebrate. Rolling up, it's time to celebrate. Adam and Gina and Nate and Montana, we dominate. From the soul of the billers, we're on the map. Lighting up the scene, ain't no cap. Hip-hop beats in the background as we drop knowledge profound. From CBD to THC, we're breaking down the chemistry in this podcast symphony. Come join our THC family.
Welcome back to the Budcast. Please make sure to remember to like, follow, and share. We've got our regular cast here, myself, Tanaki, and Adam. Although, unfortunately, Nate is feeling unwell tonight, so he is out. And we have our regulars behind the desk at this point, Hannah and Michelle as well.
Sorry, guys.
Last but not least, we've got MoTreats here. How's it going, guys?
Good. How's it
Doing
going?
very well.
Cool. So we've got, it's Adam and Gina. Yep. Adam and Gina, and it's going to confuse me.
Two Adams, yeah.
We should have sat you guys maybe not right next to each other.
Right.
That almost tripped me up for a second. But
one graphic now fills two spots.
that is
Right.
true. We didn't have to make extra graphics, so that's a bonus. But that's great. We're happy to have you guys on tonight, and
Yeah, we're
Happy to be here.
yeah, you know that we love your guys' product. We love consuming it, and we love selling it. We love everything about it. So we're excited to have you here, and we're excited to talk to you.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, we appreciate you guys. Definitely one of our best, one of our first, and one of our best. So
Right on. Awesome.
yes.
So
Well-
tell us a little bit about what goes into, the cannabis confectionery,
A lot of time, a lot of cuss words. No, I'm just kidding. It's not like that.
Quality, mainly,
Yeah.
just number one. I mean, we use vape cart quality oil and everything that we make.
right?
And including the nano-emulsions. Our distillate's very clean starting out, and it just makes a quality end product for sure.
Right. Awesome. So what gave you guys the idea to be like, you know what, we're gonna start making edibles?
So actually, my parents have been in the industry since 2008. They recently got out. They retired, so good for them. But they are the reason we're here. They taught us everything we know, and I mean, the love of weed made it really easy.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely to have a love and passion. For what you do.
Exactly. Yep. I also, there was a need for affordable quality edibles on the market. I mean,
And your guys' edibles are quality.
Yes.
I can assure you.
absolutely.
They're very consistent. I know I've actually converted a ton of people because they come in, they say, I want this brand, or they bring in their package, or they're like, I bought this
Right.
brand in California. Do you have something comparable? It doesn't matter. I can always provide your edibles, and they work 100% of the
You
time.
have taken all of Juana's business out here.
It is true.
Well-
We have a lot of respect for Juana, though.
As a
they're-
company, yes, Wana has it figured out as far as marketing.
Mhm.
I personally
sure.
wouldn't pay $32 for a 10-pack of gummies.
Right.
Right.
Even
That's
if
where
I
your guys' pricing comes in a
exactly.
lot.
I mean, even if
Yeah.
I didn't make them, I just feel like that's not realistic to Montana
No.
at all.
Mhm.
And with the new tax laws and everything on top of it, I mean,
Everything's made pretty much by batch, too, so we can
we
ensure.
make it small batch. I mean, we employ one person, and we keep it that way so that we can keep everything affordable
Nice.
for the consumers. Yep.
And I can agree
affordable
your guys'
dosages.
assessment. It is absolutely amazing product. We've actually got a video queued up for MoTreats. Let's take a look at that, and we'll be right back.
In the mountains we ride, MoTreats by our side. Cannabis edibles collide with dreams we can't hide. Flavors bursting in the air, lounging without a care. From a single gummy bear, peaceful moments we share. High times, good vibes, living with no lies. MoTreats right here, chilling with the skies. Chocolate, fruits, you know, makes the moments flow. In the Montana glow, where the rivers flow. Friends gather all around, feet dancing on the ground. MoTreats is what we found, where good times are bound. High times, good vibes, living with no lies. MoTreats right here, chilling with the skies. Chocolate, fruits, you know, makes the moments flow. In the Montana glow, where the rivers flow. High times, good vibes, living with no lies. MoTreats right here, chilling with the skies.
Alrighty, and we are back, folks. So why don't y'all tell us a little bit about some of the process behind actually making the edibles? So
Yeah.
we'll go into, how about the gummies? Because those are some of our best sellers out here.
As
So
much
it
as
starts
you want.
with
As
quality
much as you want.
distillate. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It starts with quality distillate. Obviously, the higher percentage, the better. The less I have to use, the less it tastes.
Mhm.
But really, I mean, you can food grade is like Adam said. We use vape cart quality in everything that we make.
And we use gelatin too. I know not everybody uses gelatin, but there's a lot of benefits to gelatin. I mean,
So it's a natural protein.
if your gummy doesn't melt at
Yeah.
200 degrees,
Yeah, I
then
feel like if your gummy's not melting,
what's
what's
it
it
doing
doing in your body?
It's a little bit harder to
That's a fucking
digest.
good point.
You know what I mean? So gelatin does make it more bioavailable.
So really-
We're not dogging pectin users or whatever. I mean, the melt thing is great, but
Mhm.
our goal is to keep them priced right, that people continue to buy them. I mean, you don't want to like sit on a pack
Mhm.
forever, so it shouldn't be hanging around melting.
Well, and it's really not a big deal either. Like, even if
Right.
it does melt, just take a little nibble off.
Right.
Of your...
The flavor profiles behind the gummies really came from, I worked in my parents' dispensary in Butte, Silverbow Cannabis, for years. And a lot of our patients were old school. I mean, we had that were converting them to edibles was hard. So you had to pick flavors that they knew.
Mhm.
I mean, grape, orange, watermelon, cherry. Those
Oh,
are
yeah.
all nostalgic for anyone.
Nice fruity flavors.
And you guys went with Orange Crush. too,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
not
so the
just
orange does have a little more, it's got mango, some peach.
Mm.
And that's another thing. They're all a little bit different because
Yeah.
We had
We make-
terpenes back into them too, different blends for
I was hoping you were
different
going to
moods.
mention that.
Yeah, so that's something that makes
so
us a little bit
each
different.
flavor is also
as well.
targeted to a specific need. Like our Orange Crush ones are for energy, happy. We
Mhm.
have we make all of our own terpene blends, and they're tried and true. People love them.
You can
It's-
taste
we
the
love
terps in
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
them.
I can sell your edibles to someone like who has absolutely zero experience with consuming edibles or even smoking weed, and I know that they're going to get the experience that you guys are.
Yeah,
promising on
and
the package.
just an
Right.
exact dosage too. Gina
Yep.
and I are really good with dosing. We usually start with distillate that's at least 90% total cannabinoids. You know,
Right.
Nice.
85% plus THC. Usually as clean as we can get it.
Right.
And yeah, it's the same oil that you would put in a vape card and vape
And
as well.
your edibles don't taste at all.
No.
You can't.
Well, and
taste the
shout
weed.
out to
Not
Nordic
bad.
Labs, because I mean, without their testing results, I wouldn't be able to. Without consistent results, I wouldn't have consistent edibles. So it all starts with testing.
Yeah, we
The
love
testing
Nordic
the
Labs too. That's a couple that we'd love to have on the show. Actually, I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys will see this clip eventually, but please come on our show.
We
yeah.
told them we were on. We just saw them, so
Hashtag Nordic Labs in the chat, guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead and drop it down in
They're
there.
awesome.
Yeah, they are great.
but yeah. So I mean, I'm
And now while I'm
without
thinking about it,
without
just
being
real
able
quick-
to trust them, like it's
Right. Just while I'm thinking about it real quick, we do have a couple of folks here popping in. We've got Donovan Fox. We've got Vicky Dotterman. I hope I'm saying these names right.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Tommy.
see Deb Bennett in the chat as
Tammy.
well.
Tammy.
So
sorry.
Tammy is
Shout
my
out.
mom.
Mr.
Shout out
Burns.
Shout out,
Tammy.
Nana.
Mr. Burns joining all the way
Yeah.
from fucking Springfield, man.
Oh, I see
Wow.
Donovan Fox. That's a regular out at the dispensary. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Good evening.
Hello.
So tell us about some of these things right here that you guys brought. The MoTreats nano shots. Tell
Yeah,
us a
so
little bit
these
about
right now
these.
are our kind of our baby. They are really taking off. The story behind them, I was a bartender for years, so the recipes are all my own
Very
from
nice.
having
Nice.
mixology experience. The nano is all Adam. He did all the research behind that, and
Yeah.
it took us a while to actually get a tried and true nano water soluble product to work with, but we've nailed it. And
Yeah, it all goes back honestly to Tammy and Tom, Gina's parents. Got to give a lot of credit to them. They just really instilled a mentality into us that there's no room for failure, and quality is number one. So I mean, we've always just put our best foot forward. And as far as the sonicating goes, we've been fortunate in being in the industry. I'm working with a guy named Josh. I've learned a lot about sonicating from him. He sells a setup, and I've kind of done a spin-off of that. And it emulsifies really well. I can get the particle size really low to where, I've heard effects as low as 3 to 10 to 15 minute effects. And nanocannabinoids hit a little differently. Those
Right.
30 milligram shots pack a little bit faster onset, and it's all at once, so it almost feels like you're getting a 100 milligram dose as
Right.
well.
I mean, I've never heard of a 3-minute onset dose. Could you imagine that? Just boom.
I honestly,
they definitely work.
I was gonna say I can relate to a short burst. I feel like sometimes maybe it's just the flavor profiles in those shots or something, but you take one of those shots, it's like you can feel it hitting in your mouth.
It does.
Oh,
So it almost goes down as if you're like taking an actual pocket shot. Like it gives you the warm little sensation in your
Mhm.
stomach. What's great about the nano is it makes it more bioavailable. So it bypasses your liver, it goes right to your bloodstream.
That's probably why it works so
And
well for me.
exactly.
Well-
So yeah, it's not converting to any other,
Right.
molecules. It's not doing anything. It's literally just
It's similar to a smoking high, really.
yeah, it's supposed to be, and it goes away. So it's a really great product for people to try who are maybe scared of edibles because they've taken them, they didn't work right away, they ate too much,
Mhm.
it hit them in 2 hours,
Right.
and now you're, you can't do anything for the rest of the day, which is
Another thing that's cool is we send them through a 0.2 micron filter, so I can ensure that the particle size is down to at least 200 nanometers, roughly. And that's where Gina and I kind of put our heads together. She was a mixologist. I've been making distillate for years. And we worked together to create this product, and it was a battle at first. I started making syrups and stuff at first that were honey based, and we decided to go with agave and real fruit juices in there as well. And we found margarita was just a great complementary
that was a big
to
thing
the
that
flavor of it.
like all of our market research on them was like nothing against Sinful, but the big thing was all their dyes, all the sugars in them. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm just saying like not everybody.
You wanted to make an alternative.
Yeah, and I have family. His sister's allergic to food dye, like a certain
Yeah.
food dye. So there's just I know a lot of people that are
Right.
actually. So I mean, having real ingredients. That was another thing. All the other drinks on the market, that nano is very bitter when it is distillate is very bitter when it's broken down that small. So
We're able to
to
get
hide
it though.
to hide it is hard. So I mean, that's where if you're reading the ingredients, all those sugars are in play.
Yeah.
I've from my own research, know that lime is bitter and it masks everything. Citrus will mask anything.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's
Agave is the best sweetener to use in a margarita, hands down. And then, I mean, that was just a no-brainer, and it worked. I didn't have to use anything else. So
Mhm.
I didn't have to dye them either. The color in them is the actual fruit that's in them. So.
And we try to use as little nano-emulsion as possible. It's tested anywhere from like 90 up to 97 milligrams per milliliter.
Mhm.
So we're able to use as little as possible, and it really helps with the flavor as well. I prefer them chilled. Gina's done a whole mocktail menu of them. You guys have done slushies with them.
Oh yeah.
They're very versatile, and they're quick. There's no weird come down. They're clean, and they taste pretty darn good too. So
They are super
Yeah,
tasty.
the watermelon
That's like my
slushy
favorite.
was on fucking point. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, that was a great idea.
And with the size, I mean, they're meant to be, so they do have dosing lines on them for a 10 milligram dose. But 30 milligrams, I mean, if it's an actual tried and true edible, you don't need more than that.
No.
And they're made to enjoy the whole thing if you want to. Nobody wants to like carry half of a pocket shot around.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, I feel
You
like
know.
the quantity is just right.
Right.
For
So
someone
you,
like me who's a regular, you grab
Yeah.
a medical patient.
and you're not
Different doses.
scared that if you drink the whole thing, like that was another thing was like sometimes I drink one and they don't do anything, and then you get another one and you're messed up all day. And I'm like, well, that's not a very consistent dose.
a little bit goes a long ways.
If it's a consistent product,
Yeah.
a little
Absolutely.
bit goes a long ways. And
Consistency is key, and that makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense to me. I really appreciate the amount that those are. The other thing that I've noticed with your guys' edibles in particular, all of your edibles, is a lot of edibles, when I take larger doses, let's say, 75, 100, 150, I can usually end up with an upset stomach. That doesn't really happen with your guys' edibles, and that probably is because it's so pure, right?
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's definitely
exactly.
the
Well, and
cleanest oil you can get.
I
Honestly.
mean, there's a lot of people
Yeah,
that will
that's really
preach all
great.
day RSO and solventless, and there's nothing against that, but distillate is literally the purest form of THC,
Right.
and that's what people don't understand is it might be ran through solvents, but by the time it's actually distillate, there is no solvents left in there. So
No.
it's a solventless product, and it's the purest form you're getting, 100%.
it's the most processed oil out
purest
there,
form.
really.
Right.
It's a process.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the oil we use has gone through at least 2 passes, usually scrubbed. I mean, as clean as possible.
Yeah.
And we've been fortunate to be working with Mountain Organics. Ron and the lab's been great. We've been helping each other keep distillate supplied for the lab, and Rob Carson's been a huge guy too. Shout out to Rob because he
actually, we wouldn't be here. We
yeah.
wouldn't be in Billings without Rob. So
Wow. Shout outs to Rob then.
Yeah.
absolutely.
We love your guys' product so much. We
Yeah,
really
it's
do.
it's been an organic growth, and that's just tough to come by in the industry with you guys and the relationships that we've built. Gina and I started this company with very little, and it's cool to see things come to fruition. I know we've both stressed a lot. There's been a lot of long nights of labeling and only having one employee and some bottlenecks here and there, but we've been working with a lot of great farms around the state to supply the distillate as well.
With you guys, I mean, we get to meet some really great people. And
That's awesome too, isn't it?
It's the best part of it.
Yeah, we've kind of just built a team full of killers, and
Yeah.
and we're all just dogs and show up and work every day and just keep the beast fed. It's a beast, this industry.
Yeah, they're
and
hungry
you just
too.
have to feed it. But
I don't have any data right now, but I know even just 2 weeks ago we were talking about the cannabis industry globally being $68 billion. So you
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
feeding the beast.
Well,
Well, and in an industry like that, I mean, you have to have something that's different, and so that's where
and you're
shots.
definitely bringing it for
Right.
sure.
That's
Uh,
where
Our
shots
market
come in.
was
They hit
desperately in
different for sure.
Yeah.
need of a nano-emulsion
Yeah.
drink.
Well, see,
It
I
was.
can consume, and it's
And
not
also-
a good thing.
margaritas are the #1 drink in America. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, people love it.
exactly.
I put
Yeah, it's
myself
real
in nursing
ingredients.
school,
Slanging
bartending and
margaritas,
cocktailing,
right.
and I will tell you straight up, she is not lying.
Yep. Hey,
you
I
can
yeah,
make
I
She's a
remember.
badass
margarita.
bartender.
If
Yeah.
you can make a margarita or
Yep.
Long Island iced tea.
I'm a Long
I
Island
don't know
iced
if
tea
anyone
boy.
It's one or the other. Either one or the other.
I don't know if my friend Mark is on here, but he is the reason that I make good margaritas. So, you know,
Only
that's
amount of
another thing you
flavors
can
that
never
add.
not be willing to learn because you never know.
Absolutely. And this industry
Right. Everybody
changes
loves a
so
good margarita.
Exactly. No, there's no doubt about it. It's always a good time. And the fact that they're 2 ounces, it can easily replace alcohol in any mixed drink that you enjoy. So if you're like going through a cocktail book and you're like, that sounds great, I don't drink, or, you know,
Yep.
I can't drink it.
Yeah.
It
They're
is a
appealing.
perfect
Replace it with
replacement.
a flavor. I mean, it's going to go good in it. I
It's the
promise.
quickest,
So,
cleanest high on the market. You know,
Yeah.
it's
No
cool.
doubt.
Put it in a
Yeah.
Gatorade. Put it in a Gatorade. I'm not even playing with you.
Yeah.
Just take a sip out of the Gatorade, pour it at the top,
Right.
shake it up.
All right.
Like,
I guess if we're doing recipes, I got one too.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just take some. What kind of slushy, Hannah? I throw the ball to you.
What
The watermelon
slushy are you talking about?
That watermelon slushy that we did.
yeah,
The
I want to
watermelon
know
slushy?
because I wasn't here.
It was
We
literally
just froze watermelon.
it was frozen watermelon.
Oh, that makes
and-
sense. 'Cause
yeah,
that
it was-
sweet texture. is
it
kind
was
of
just
good.
dots.
literally, yeah.
and frozen
Okay,
and
there
frozen
you go.
watermelon
Oh, man.
blended up,
And
and that was
then-
And
it.
you can dose
Yeah.
them 10 milligrams, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
And
I'm pretty sure there
Ease
was like
into it.
4
But
or
that's
5
what's great, is,
bottles
like, you
poured
don't-
into that
yeah,
thing.
you
It was a party.
They were so
And then everybody put
Right,
one
make a
in the
party
cup
bowl.
too.
That's great.
Yeah.
We still
That's
have
the
so
next
much
recipe I'm
watermelon.
coming up with.
That's
is,
how
yeah.
I used to make
Fish.
our
What do they
margarita.
used to call that
at
stuff?
home.
Jesus juice or like PJs and stuff like that, where you cut up all
Jungle
the fruit.
juice.
Yeah.
Jungle
Yeah.
Jungle juice.
Come on, where were you,
So
young man?
many-
I mean, I was on
Grow
the
up
East
and learn
Coast.
your
They just
coast.
called it different things.
Oh,
You know,
so
yeah.
many regretful nights.
Oh man.
Think about how much
Right.
better they would have been if it was all THC the whole
Definitely.
time.
Right, exactly. No,
I don't know.
They had it in the morning.
I don't know.
I don't
Everyone would
know.
have been passed out.
They're
So
great to cure hangovers too.
the cops wouldn't have been called, I guess.
I mean, with the nano, it would have been cool because within the 15 minutes of hanging out and drinking, people would have been like, all right, yeah, we're getting fucked up. But
Right.
like if it would have been that 45-minute to an hour onset, people would have been slamming back cups thinking everything's fine. And 45 minutes into it, it's like, oh no.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like a down high either. It's very uplifting and
If you want to go to, I mean, it's all about your mindset too. That's what I tell everyone. Whatever you're taking is all about your mindset. I
Right.
mean, you could say it's indica, but yeah, obviously, if you're thinking like it's indica and I want to go to sleep,
Mhm.
it's gonna help you sleep.
Yep.
Okay, 100%. So it's all where your mind is at, and vice versa. It's like the same thing eating mushrooms. If you want a bad trip, eat them while you're pissed off.
Yep.
So
Don't eat them while you're pissed off. guys.
don't exactly.
No, don't do it. I
No,
mean,
you got to eat them.
yeah, we used to make them higher milligram, and the general consensus amongst
They
everyone
were just too
that's
much.
it was too strong, and keeping the emulsion true in
That makes sense.
emulsion is
And the
tough at
taste.
higher
I mean, like I
doses.
said, it's very bitter. So the absolute least you can use, the best.
Right.
I'm also the not like the white stuff floating on top. Like that's what I also want to point out. Not gonna mention any names, but I'm sure a lot of people know who I'm talking about. That's what's infused.
Right. So,
So-
then you set
That's
that
the
at
emulsion.
the top.
Right, and
it's
I
tough to keep
bought
that.
them and like seen them, and one's got like this much white stuff, and then one's got this much white stuff. So
How is that a consistent
it's
dose?
not properly emulsified to where it's
Mm.
being consistent.
I'm learning some stuff tonight.
I'm
look
just
for,
gonna
look
throw
for
it
the
out
bottles
there.
with a lot of the shit. floating on
Yeah,
top.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
Or your guys. We'll
If you
the
have a
same one
little
every
bit,
time.
tell them you're getting ripped off.
Right.
You want the one, all of it.
Or
if you want the full experience.
if you want consistency, just come get more treats.
Or yeah, if you just
Definitely.
want to know exactly what you're getting all the time, yes, come see 406 Organics. They have all of our line fully stocked all the time.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
And I said they
If
really
we
work.
have it, I should say.
And
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've been
Tanaki.
I might. Oh wait, no, we did just get more shots from you guys.
Yeah.
I literally got pretty much cleared out by this like cute little old lady the other day.
That's
She
great.
just came in and she was like, "I want 4 joints and I want all your shots that I can get."
That's great.
That's
See, I love it.
awesome.
I love
Okay.
that because
It's a different high.
they're
It really is.
enjoyable.
I mean,
They are very enjoyable.
I feel like it's very uplifting. And
Yeah.
like I was going to say earlier, like I can take thousands of milligrams, unfortunately, of cannabis and not really feel it unless I use the Pepto-Bismol trick, which is crazy, but it works. But
we've come
one
a
of
long
these
way.
shots really hits and is extremely uplifting, and
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It's crazy that 10 years ago that brownies was the wave. You know, like if you could make some good brownies, you were doing
look,
pretty
Bobby's
well.
Right.
Hi, Bobby. So Bobby, Dang Queen, right there. She's our only employee.
That's our
Shout out
boy.
to Bobby.
What's
Bobby's
up?
awesome.
I've actually seen her in a few of our shows.
She actually
Yeah.
won one of the giveaways.
Oh,
a
yeah, it
couple
was a
weeks ago.
bubbler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
sick.
she's awesome.
That's cool, man.
She's,
that's-
She's had some long days labeling
she's-
for us
yeah,
and
she's
packaging
hung out.
oh man.
and in production as well. And
She's
we really
seen it all.
appreciate her for sure.
Deb is curious about the Pepto-Bismol thing.
All right. So Pepto-Bismol trick is if you take a cap of Pepto-Bismol about 30 minutes before you consume your edible, it works way better. Like,
so Pepto Bismol coats your stomach.
yeah,
So then in turn it doesn't like.
get all eat up by the
Oh.
acids and
Exactly.
things
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like a primer.
Yeah.
And but that's also why they say to like eat before you take edibles. If you really want an enjoyable high, eat.
This is so educational.
Make sure you are you're eating them on a full stomach. If you're eating
Right.
edibles on an empty stomach, they're not going to work as well, and it's not going to be as enjoyable. That's when you get sick, and when you get the spins. I know a lot of people. I'm like, well, are you eating while you're taking them? Because
I'm
it's
guilty
just
of
it's
that.
the
I'm a
same
once a
thing
day
as
eater,
yeah.
so-
Yeah.
I mean,
That can be rough.
Yeah, that
So-
makes sense.
I mean, I would take
That's
like
my problem.
about
Yeah, eat on
3,000
them.
milligrams of
Everybody-
RSO in the morning with a
Right.
bagel
Oh
or
my
well,
something.
if you hear like
And not
most
smoke a
people,
joint.
like,
You're a soldier.
But with the Pepto trick, I tried it and I ate this 500 milligram banana bread, and I was like, "Look, it's not going to work. I eat like a lot,
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately, but I'll let you know how the banana bread is." So I just tried the Pepto trick on a one-off anyway, and I was just like, "Whatever, I'll do this, and we'll eat the banana bread and we'll let them know how it tasted." I sat down and I felt a little bit, and I was like, "Okay, all right, I'm gonna get up and take a dab." And as soon as I stood up, it was like, "Oh shit!" The walk across that room was a very difficult walk.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the first time I ever smoked cement shoes.
Everybody
So
processes
my
stuff
dad
different.
always tells this edible story, and he still to this day like is terrified of edibles. I don't know, but so way back in the day, 2008, back when they did those doctor conventions at the come on ins. Okay,
Mhm.
and if you've been around, you
Yep.
know,
Like,
if you know, you
they
know.
were like,
And they
know.
were like
Really did.
$700 appointments. It was ridiculous, actually. So they had, but here's the thing: like there was no laws saying you couldn't like openly consume. So they
Right.
had brownies. My dad ate one, and so did his friend. And they're like, "Oh, these aren't fucking working. Whatever, we're gonna leave." And they went and sat in his truck. And then they both like went back and forth for 2 hours. Like, I need to go to the hospital. And then the one would come and they'd be like, no, you're fine, dude. You're okay. And then the other one would be like, no. I need to go to the hospital right now.
Yeah,
So, I mean, there's funny. I love fun edible stories.
that happens to so many people. You'd think with how much we joke about it that it must be like a meme or something. But every person that comes in, people love talking to bud tenders the same way they talk to bartenders, and so every one of them comes in and tells us I ate, one time I ate 100 milligrams. I was like, that isn't working for me. And this is coming from a customer who is now telling you that they take a half of one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so
yep.
you're like, oh my God, where's this story going? And then they're like, so I took another 100 milligrams. You're like, this person is going to die. Like, that's the end of the story, right?
I think also, back in those days, there wasn't testing labs. And there wasn't any way to actually
Know what the
Who
dosage
knows
is.
what it was?
right.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know what I'm eating. This was made in whatever oil was made in a crock pot in someone's kitchen.
Right.
everybody's body's different too.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
you're not going to
Mhm.
process something the same as Joe
Yeah.
as
Nope.
James over here. You know what I mean? Because everybody's digestive system's different.
And the
That's-
cannabinoid system is different.
Yeah, and it's all dependent on your liver at the end of the day to do all the work. That's
Right.
what these nano shots are cool because
Apparently mine is worthless.
we're not using the liver. Well, some people's livers get abused. I'm not gonna shout out alcohol or anything like that, but your liver does a lot of work.
21
you
once,
know,
for sure.
and these shots are able to bypass that to where it hits hard and fast, and
Right.
it's enjoyable. You
Right.
know, it's cool. It's just a different experience.
Like you were saying with the dosage back with the brownie days, you know, and someone makes the oil in the crock pot.
Man.
And
Yeah,
they
we
put it
used
in
to
their
do it in the
mom's
dorm room.
uneven oven.
So,
Oh yeah.
It's just
I
like all
mean-
tilted or something. So all the shit ran to this side of
Yeah.
the pan because the whole oven's not. Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
you're eating. I mean, it's not like they're actually like straining
They're all oily.
anything.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
eating like all plant matter. And, I
all
mean,
these
it's-
brownies are like okay, and
Yeah.
then somebody eats one of these
This
and
is gonna
goes
give you the
comatose.
shits, man.
Right.
Oil.
Well,
will
and
make you
honestly,
shit, you know what I
okay,
mean?
so
I've had so many older folks come in and tell me that like they don't want to try the new oil, the new tricks to make
Yeah.
their like butters or whatnot. They just want to buy an ounce of weed, throw that shit in a crock pot, and then throw it all in the fridge.
Yeah.
That reminds me.
They keep it for years. Like apparently it never goes bad.
Really?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say that, but I mean,
Bobby and her pickle shot. She keeps trying to get me to make a pickle nano shot.
Oh my god.
I could
I know,
see people
honestly,
eating
I
it.
would.
I know.
I would.
Okay, so I guess
So much
yeah,
money
throw
for
it out there.
that.
I guess let's throw it out there.
Okay.
It's a
Who?
vote.
Who
You know
would?
what?
That's a
we
great
can
question.
we can
Do
set
it.
up an actual voting
Yeah, we
thing,
can set
like
up
a
a
yes
poll.
or no poll.
Let's
Maybe
do
we'll
it.
revisit
If you guys want a
in a week.
pickle shot, I'll do it. I mean, I know like picklebacks are a thing,
Yeah.
obviously.
Gina, I will
Uh,
buy all of
Uncle
them.
Bucks came
Oh my
out
God.
with
So
a
obviously,
pickle strain of
maybe
weed
I
that
guess we
actually
might need to do a
smells like
small
a jar of
batch just for
pickles
our
when you open
dispensary.
it.
Right?
Yeah.
My
Is it
brother
pickle
did
rich?
just make
there's a
some
lot
like
of terpenes.
really
There's
great
yeah, a
a
pickles.
pickle terp. I don't know if you've ever smelled it
I don't
before,
know.
but it's a
Dude.
wild.
What do you?
Yeah.
They're-
Uh,
I'm gonna
It
have
happens in like super
Totally
old
random.
dabs, so
What
keep
kind?
them in a jar or something.
You're all going.
Too excited. Everyone was so
Everyone.
dang excited.
Okay,
We
so
got
everyone's
going.
excited about the pickles.
See?
Yes.
There you go, Bobby.
So, okay, we've got a few topics I want to cover there. For one, yes, people are excited that you do have the picklebacks. I remember this Christmas, I unfortunately chased whiskey with some
I
pickle
don't need
juice
this.
8 or 9 times in a row, and then had a rough night. So,
Yeah.
There are
But-
some benefits of pickle juice too. You know,
All right, off the pickle juice.
yeah.
I mean, this could be a big thing.
well,
Could
that's
be a big thing.
I was
I'm
going to
telling
follow
you,
up.
Gina,
You guys
I'll
were
buy
talking
all.
about the pickle terp. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah.
We were cutting down my purple
Good for
haze,
you.
hanging in my tent. Every time I opened that tent, it was like getting punched in the face by pickles. It was
Yeah,
the most bizarre smell.
there's
That's
some pickle
great.
terps out there for sure.
I'm not saying I'm not dogging
Cool.
pickles. I love pickles.
We should jump into the strain of the week real
Yeah.
quick,
Right.
and then we can. Looks like Adam's got papers
It's
here for it.
pickle neck. Just kidding. I don't even know.
So,
what are we doing
uh,
first?
I think we're going to jump into Skywalker OG first. We've
Wow.
got 2 this week, you guys, because we actually had a tie in our poll for strain of the week. So let's jump into that video right quick.
Skywalker OG, I'm landing. Cloud City, highway blending. Vader vibes, I'm demanding. Star Wars, life expanding. Sky high in the night. Skywalker OG, feeling right. Lightsabers glowing bright. Space dreams taking flight. Obi-Wan with the flow. Skywalker OG, let it go. Galaxy vibes, we grow. Yoda wisdom, we know. Sky high in the night. Skywalker OG, feeling right. Lightsabers glowing bright. Space dreams taking flight. Obi-Wan with the flow. Skywalker OG, let it go. Galaxy vibes, we grow. Yoda wisdom, we know. Sky high in the night. Skywalker OG, feeling right. Lightsabers glowing bright. Space dreams taking flight. Millennium Falcon, we ride. To the stars, we won't hide. Hyperspace trip to the sky. Skywalker OG high. R2D2 beeps my song. Chewbacca roar all night long. With the force we are strong. Skywalker OG, keep it on.
All right, so that is a look at our strain of the week, the Skywalker OG, which is an indica dominant hybrid cannabis strain with a potent THC content ranging in the 20 to 30%. It is a cross between Mazar and Blueberry OG strains. The dominant terpenes found in Skywalker OG are that myrcene, carotphyllene, and limonene. So you're getting those really stony, relaxing things, but you're also getting a real nice uplifting limonene out of that as well. So, I mean, it's a staple strain for me. I definitely have enjoyed it, and I've had it across let's see, the first place I think I had it was Illinois. Then I came out west and found it in Colorado, Oregon, and it's been good cross country. You know, it's one of those strains that does well everywhere. It does say a tingly, relaxed, and sleepy are the feelings that you get out of it, which that kind of makes sense. And negatives: dry eyes, dry mouth, dizzy. I don't count that as a fucking negative. Like the dizzy part, I feel like that's being stoned. That's a benefit.
Sometimes it can be.
It can be sometimes. Everyone's had the spins before.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It's never fun.
No,
I feel like I've never had it though solely just marijuana. I was definitely drinking.
I have just from marijuana.
I was
But
definitely
it's-
drinking.
Yeah.
And
The spins are one of my favorite effects. I love getting the spins and then like
She
just
told me
fucking
this the other
vibing
day.
with
I
it.
know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
get
I'll
sick.
lay down and I'll just be like, this is so great. Like I'll shut my eyes and imagine I'm like fucking falling and shit. I will never actually go like skydiving or anything like that. I'm not an
Oh,
adrenaline
man.
junkie.
Yeah,
but
no,
that like little falling feeling is so peaceful to me.
no,
So that
can
dream
do
where you
that.
like fall off a
Dark
cliff,
well.
that's just like the
Yeah.
greatest right there.
Okay, no, because I always jerk awake and I'm usually actually falling off the bed. So
Been there.
I have. Tanaka, your bed's tall. I couldn't.
I have not had those dreams in forever. That's why I got a tall bed. Yeah, I have a really tall bed. I have to do like a little hop to get into my bed. It's nice.
Oh man,
Yeah, when I was
I
a kid, I
haven't.
fell off a tall bed and never again.
Who?
Right? I did.
Oh, as a kid.
As a kid, yeah. Like, it was
No,
awful.
floor beds are rough because then you actually have to get up in the morning.
We
Okay,
rocked a floor bed for a long time, and now we have a regular bed.
Where did my mouth
And I don't know.
Wait till
I
you
feel
get
indifferent.
old.
I like the floor bed. I don't know why. I just did.
Like,
I don't know. We had when we were just got to Billings, we were renting this furnished place. It was over on Virginia. It's like a doctor's fucking mansion, and the guest house was just this amazing ass fucking house. It was like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, fucking Uncle Phil's guest house. And it kind of had a low setting bed with the like cool ass curtain thing, but the low bed frame and shit, it was kind of a vibe. It
Mhm.
really was.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Character.
the only time it's shitty is when you're freaking 9 months pregnant
Yeah.
and 5'3".
Well, that's the most convenient time.
It's a sumo squat to stand up.
It's funny that neither Tanaki or I have had the Skywalker OG because we're actually growing it in our garden right now.
See, I was about to ask Michelle if we had that in our
Oh,
garden.
Yes.
I thought I saw that tag.
It's
So
coming
hopefully I
down.
It's
will get
really
to try
good.
that soon.
Yeah.
I had
Testing
it
on
in like
Monday.
a cartridge.
Anything
Ooh.
OG.
But that's
Monday.
I mean, like not
Gotta love a good skunky, earthy.
that's
OG.
just like a terpene.
Yeah, I've had a couple different OGs before, but never Skywalker.
We've been pretty spoiled our whole smoking career. It goes back to Gina's parents. And quality at the end of the day. Some of the best weed in the world, I swear, has come out of
Yeah.
our parents' garden.
I believe that.
And so we've been fortunate to be able to not only work with that material, but make connections with that and work with other farms as well and just source good quality from the start, you know?
Right
Hell
on.
yeah.
And yeah,
It makes all the difference in the
it's
world.
fresh. It makes it a lot easier all around. So
I'm getting the finger from behind the screens over there. For the record, I totally made
finger?
sure the middle one,
Mine.
the tallest one, and I totally hit the like mute button before I tried to open up the stream on my phone, and it totally just turned the
That's all
sound back on. My bad, Hannah. My bad.
Speaking of
I'll
stream,
only murder you a little bit.
let's do our stream duties. Make sure everyone please like, share, subscribe, follow, do all of the things. Make sure that you're hitting those hearts on Facebook, hitting the likes, doing all that engagement stuff. It helps us out. It helps everyone
Heck
out.
yeah. Share us to your friends too. Friends, family, anybody you think might be interested in the cannabis.
Absolutely. We just broke that 3.5K and we're pushing for that 10K, guys. So make sure you're inviting your friends. Go to the page. There's little 3 dots over there in the corner. You click on that, hit invite friends. You can invite 1,000 friends just like that. So go invite them so that we can hit that
You have
10K.
to have 1,000.
Well, I mean, you can invite all of your friends. I mean,
1,000
Those are our friends.
I know
Got
it's
about
funny. I don't.
3 people.
Yeah, I don't really do Facebook very much. Like,
Me either, man.
I literally have 5 friends. I just started my Facebook like 6 months ago, and it's just us. So Adam's always hitting me up like, "Hey, make sure you share it, everyone." I'm like, "It's just you, dude."
Sorry.
Small circles are nice, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, but it's good to have the connections that we have. But
Mhm.
shout out to everybody we've been working with. Honestly, it takes an army.
Yes,
And like I
it
said
does.
before, it's a beast, and we spend a lot of long nights not only making oil but sourcing trim from farms to make the oil. And
Yep.
it's you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
know, being in the industry, there's a lot of hurdles that you have to jump. And
Oh,
we've got a new kitchen coming online in Lockwood here soon. Just have to finish it up here.
That's awesome.
But yeah, the new store, Mountain Organics, is open over in Lockwood as well. It's
Nice.
beautiful over there.
damn.
MoTreats is going to be moving over there soon. We're building the production kitchen over there.
Right on.
And it's cool to be able to do it from the ground up. So we'll be excited to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
what's the address over there in Lockwood?
It's over on Cerise. So the Lockwood Exchange, it's just across the tracks there. Kind of back by where that fishing access is and boat launch.
Mhm.
You can actually see it right when you're coming into Lockwood, just past Stink Blossom, actually, if you look down across the tracks.
Oh yeah, I have seen it. It's got
That's where we'll
the
be.
big green cross, and it's got like the brown background on
Yeah.
it and stuff. The metal building.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. Everybody's been
Yeah.
working really hard over there. Once again, it just comes down to the people that you work with and surround yourself with, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
It's been cool. We've had a lot of organic growth, and
Well, there we go. We got the address.
I was
there.
gonna say, Audrey just dropped in the chat with the
Awesome.
918
918 Cerise.
Cerise.
Awesome.
Mr.
like that.
Burns.
MoTreats are better than no treats.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. That's-
I'm telling you, man, Mr.
Uh,
Burns is a fucking hoot, dude.
I think
That's awesome.
I think he's giving that away for free. I don't know. So you guys might want to hop on that. That's a pretty good catch.
I
no
mean, it
trademark on that.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. I like that a lot.
I'm telling you, his memes are on point. Like he'll
Yeah.
make his own Springfield themed fucking like Mr. Burns memes, and they are fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's
If
Yeah,
you're not
so-
following him,
That's
definitely
awesome.
make sure you guys go follow Mr.
So look
Burns.
for
Sounds good.
shirts coming soon.
oh exciting.
We'll
I always
give
love merch.
Mr. Burns a free one.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That would be sick. We'll send one over. That would be dope. Well, to segue a little bit, we do actually have that second strain since we won. Oh, we have
A question from Melly.
Question.
yeah.
It
this
says
is,
I'm in week 3 flour of some do-si dough in a 2-gallon. Am I good? I would actually, in my opinion, I'd go ahead and upgrade that to a 5.
I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
If you're
Yeah.
in flour, I would definitely be in a 5 anytime you're going into flour, you know.
you can
Unless
probably
you
get
wanted
away with the
to-
2-gallon, but you're gonna have to fertigate or water like 2.
Yeah, you have to keep
multiple
that
times
EC
a
up
day.
for sure.
Yeah.
Feed it a lot.
But I mean, upgrade it, and then you only have to water once a day. Then
It
you're
will
like-
grow.
Yes, it will get there.
It's a weed at the end of the day.
Yep. Good question,
It
and
is
of course, we're happy to see you and welcome.
Dosey dough, those fire too.
Welcome
That's one
from
of my
YouTube.
favorites.
Yeah, Dosey Dough is. We've got a friend. I'm not going to name specifically who has grown Dosey Dough in their home garden. They shared it with us, and it was absolutely delicious.
It's
It was so tasty.
It's got a skunkiness to it that I really enjoy too.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, you're absolutely welcome. Thanks for the questions. Make sure that you come back with more, because talking about grow stuff is one of our favorite things. So please. But speaking of grow, another strain that we have grown, in fact, we have it on the shelves right now, Acapulco Gold. Let's go ahead and watch
Oh,
that
yes.
video.
Our tag.
Golden fields under the sun whispering, dusty roads lead to the promised land. Eyes flicker from the summer's blaze, chasing dreams of Acapulco haze. Smells of earth grind against my soul. Rivers run but never seem to flow. Hands rough from the seeds we sow, searching skies for a shine we know. Acapulco gold life ain't what you're told. Sun is burning hot, but the night's so cold. Dreams we follow fade, always so bold. Lost in the shimmer of Acapulco gold. We drag on through the ocean breeze, silent prayers carried by the trees. Echoes loud from the day's degree, restless minds never find the keys. Smoke rise up like the spirits high, lost ambitions in the open sky. Cracked voices sing lullaby, hopes like leaves drifting by. Acapulco gold life ain't what you're told. Sun is burning hot, but the night's so cold. Dreams we follow fade, always so bold. Lost in the shimmer of Acapulco gold. We drag on through the ocean breeze, sun is burning hot, but the night's so cold.
Oh, it just cuts, huh?
Yep.
All right. No worries. That's
I
fine.
was strategizing.
We weren't ready for that.
Oh, I did a countdown, but you were looking down.
No, it's
Sorry.
okay. I enjoyed the whole process. I just don't mind sharing it too. It's funny.
Michelle and I were strategizing. Sorry, guys.
Well, you gotta communicate strategy sometimes.
Sweet.
And,
Nope.
Nope. Anyway,
And
well,
sometimes you just do it.
yeah, fly by the seat of our pants and all that. It's the nature of the industry.
It is a weed podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, with that in mind, okay, looks like I just got it all on this piece of paper. So Acapulco Gold has a storied history that can be traced back to its roots in the sun-soaked beaches of Acapulco, Mexico. I wish I could go there and smoke some right now. This legendary strain gained popularity in the 1960s during the counterculture movement. I bet you it was very popular with some of those climbers. There's a legendary story about climbers in the Yosemite Mountains and a plane crash from the Mexican cartels, and only the best climbers could climb up to the plane and recover the
little bit of
pounds and
bud
pounds
here.
of weed. So anyway,
Cool.
That's cool.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you want to go to like Acapulco, Mexico, and be smoking some Acapulco Gold, because I was gonna say that specifically, that's probably like cartel territory.
yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't want to go there. Just a little bit. Absolutely.
But I mean, what's being held for ransom by the cartel if they just let you smoke plenty of Acapulco Gold right there? You're like, I'm not gonna run, dog. You gave me plenty of weed. You don't have to chain
We're
me to the
good.
wall. Like, I'll be
Our
here.
son says he doesn't want to ever go to Mexico because he doesn't want to drink beer. Because of the Kenny Chesney song. Have another beer in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what else do you do in Mexico? You're probably right.
You don't
Yeah.
drink the water. Drink
No.
the beer.
You
Actually.
have to drink the beer.
Yeah.
It's the only sanitary thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Coca-Cola, like a good, like the Mexican Cokes.
So
Honestly, hit, dude, in the glass bottle.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
So
The
if you
little
wants to go
Mexican
over,
sodas too, that-
Yeah.
Yeah, they hit. Sure.
sorry,
The Jarritos or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad grew a strain. It was, I don't know. My mom might correct me. I think it was Panama.
Panama
Red.
Red.
Panama Red.
That's a
I fucking
classic.
love
We
Panama
have
Red.
some seeds of that. We have not
Okay.
popped them yet
So I
We
in our
actually
garden.
did-
It was
Yeah.
good. It was a good one.
Ooh. What did you like about it? I'm curious because we have to grow it. You know what? We should talk to your parents if they've grown it before.
But yeah. Well, yeah, they would he grew all living organic soil. So
Okay. Well.
It's
Yeah,
really
we can figure it
fuely
out.
old school skunk.
Oh,
Like,
fun.
just super
it was just
stinky.
old school.
We don't have any.
It brought
stinky
back
stuff.
the old school bud because for a while there it was a lot of fruity stuff. Blue
It
Dream
still
was a
is.
huge thing.
I think it's still.
At
You know,
one
like-
point, we could sell Blue Dream as 5 different strains. People just still bought it. Yeah, I'm not kidding. We had Blue Dream, we had Fruity Pebbles, we had Candy Kush, we
Blue
had
Dream's a giver.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
get to do it.
and so they were all Blue Dream, but at the time there was so
Right.
much of it.
I know.
But
I've heard some hilarious stories, hilarious to me from the industry, from some of the old heads where they're just like, yeah,
They
People
used to
used to-
call it naming parties, and I kid you
Exactly.
not, we would literally get upped, and our partner was a moron and couldn't remember them from a 4-hour drive. and would literally, we would sit there and smell, this one smells like Fruity Pebbles, this one smells like this, and we would just name and make it up.
Well, and back then it was easy. You just had to like stick a label on a jar. Now, and then it turned into like, well, now we have to actually like label these in metric, all these different strains, and then you have to get them strain specific tested. So that eventually faded to like Blue Dream was just one strain again.
Who knows what the old timers were smoking? You know, we're
So,
so regulated.
Sorry, guys. For a lot of you might have just been smoking Blue Dream, and I'm gonna say that there's a lot of old school growers that can probably attest to that.
Yeah, I bet you're right. I bet you people were just smoking a lot of the same stuff. Well, and
the California cut, Blue Dream, everybody grew.
Even I've talked about this on the show before. I think that just the pure quantity of genetics that have come into existence through breeding, you're going to have genetics that are named different things, but really genetically they're basically the same thing. And that if you look at it at a macro level, I think there's only really like 10 different strains that exist.
That's why terpenes are so important. Cannabis-derived terpenes are, honestly, in my opinion, more important than any percentage that you're going to see on a label. Like, I don't shop for THC percentages. I shop for aromas and with my nose and
the nose.
The nose.
Well, hey, that was my. I don't know if you play Connections. Anyone on the New York Times app? It's fun if you don't. But that was, or not Connections. It was Spanagram. That was the genre today. The nose.
The nose. No, I had no idea.
Yeah,
I mean, I say that a lot to customers because, you know.
We always, well, it's the thing. If we go buy weed, we just ask, like, what's the funkiest smelling right now? And what's your favorite? Like,
give me that garlic or like dirty socks
See,
almost. You know, I love that stuff.
It's so hard to find those things these days.
A lot of those old school strains have that profile, though. Right. That's why you're starting to see them make a comeback somewhat. I'd love to see OG, just the straight original OG Kush, make a comeback.
I wonder how much of Mexican brick weed was Acapulco Gold.
Oh, probably a lot of it.
Like, because I mean, we're a dying breed. We're probably some of the last generation that'll have been able to say, yeah, like we grew up smoking some brick weed at some point. Well, I don't know about you guys out here, but
I didn't.
Oh, a straight
like,
brick.
Up on the East Coast, you got brick.
Sorry, guys,
but
I didn't.
We had shitty weed for $50 an eighth, and then we had chronic for 60 an eighth.
Yeah,
and usually
Eastern Montana was rough.
2.5 grams, and you're like, oh, that was way worth it.
Yep.
And then her parents started growing, and it was the best around. Like, honestly,
I grew up bougie. I just purchased from a home grower.
See,
funny thing about the
my parents
2.5.
were like so against it till I turned 18, which shout out to them, whatever. But
funny thing about the
they grew it. It was in my backyard. I couldn't smoke it on their property. They wouldn't sell it to me. So
gotta do what you gotta do.
They were doing their job, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it's
still,
nice to be able
found
to get clean products
at the neighbors, and it was shitty weed, and still, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, that the 2.5 is that's actually, well, it's 2.8, but that's an eighth in Ohio.
Yeah,
so they just legalized, and they call it an eighth, and they charge you the same price as eighths in neighboring Michigan and all this stuff. But you get a 2.83, and it has officially been dubbed the Ohio 10th.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately, they're not doing fits. They missed the mark.
I didn't even know you could smoke weed in Ohio. So
it just went legal.
Speaking of Ohio, I think that kind of is a nice segue. We are running a little bit late on the show into our cannabis news.
With Tanaki.
I don't have it. I lost the paper.
It's right
Is
there.
it right here?
Yeah. It's right there.
I'm not doing it.
Dang it. Tanaki thought that was her out too. She was like, I lost it. So
I forgot how to read just now.
Seriously. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We were talking about Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, marijuana at the drive-thru in Ohio.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio just opened up a new chapter in the fast food revolution. Drive-thru marijuana dispensaries.
We were kind of hoping for something like that, I think.
So during the pandemic, we ran a drive-through window, and it was totally legal, and I didn't have to deal with anyone.
That sounds amazing.
It was great.
I bet you the customers loved it too.
They killed it.
Yeah, and then as soon as like everyone kind of was like, "Oh, COVID's kind of bullshit," it was like, "Oh, you can't do that anymore. That's totally not okay." Which was fine, whatever. But yeah, for a long time, and there's some people they'll tell you they drove right up to the window.
Yeah.
But over there at the speaker, man, just and then
I know you guys might not want to say it, but we do not like it when random rules get changed and
No.
implemented without legislative due process. So
Exactly.
that is what it is.
Yep.
It's worrisome, you know.
It
What if you're during inspection and you're going through your checklist and then all of a sudden there's a variance to that? Like,
Yeah,
where do
you
we go off?
Find the checklist and you're like, what?
That's what we're dealing
incarnation?
with right
Yep.
now. Is the inspection checklist. So
Yeah. Always, right?
Well, you're
When
kind
are
of
you
like,
not?
and then you overthink it because you're like, well, how is the state interpreting this, and how is like everyone else interpreting this? Because it's really all about how you interpret it, and they tell you that. Like,
and it's different.
it doesn't
Which is
make sense.
Really flimsy now,
Yep.
thanks to the Chevron
difference.
deference.
Deference.
So
Yes.
we will see how that all plays out in the long run.
No more ambiguity
No.
in the bullshit.
Which is good because look, here's the deal. Like I support regulation, whatever. We need to have some regulation, but not ambiguous rules that can change at any time and are interpreted
No,
by
and you can't
whomever
be
they
like-
want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
not
can't
having
be
it
like-
open into personal interpretations bullshit. Like,
Yeah. I
It
mean,
is
there
what it
needs to be, it needs to be like very clear that these are the repercussions and whatever, because I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of, I mean, not everyone has the same inspectors, and even we have 2 inspectors. So you're like, they're back and forth. I don't know.
And it could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 months before you get inspected. So you have to be on top of things.
I don't know.
You
They all
can't-
need to be on the same page, and they're not, because
can't
you
look
could call
inside.
them and they'll tell you one thing, and then they'll come inspect you and tell you a whole other spiel, and then you'll hear horror stories from somebody else, like, "Why are you doing that? I got fined all this money," and then you're like, "They didn't even say anything to us about it."
Right.
Yeah, I won't say any names, but I can think of a few places that get heavy fines for the
Oh,
craziest,
100%.
like not even a violation of a post, and then other people will
minute
post
things.
like their entire
Operations
inventory, the
and
Oh, I've
operation,
seen
prices.
people
the-
post some crazy
yeah,
stuff
and-
online, and I'm just like, bro, we can't even accidentally post Tanaki taking a selfie and had some writing in the background. Genuine mistake. They
There-
didn't even realize
Well,
it.
There was the post. It was literally a picture
It's
of Mario
definitely a
Kart
bias
Deluxe,
system.
and that got took down.
Yeah.
They have a tough job, though, to be fair. It's
I
new,
agree.
and I mean,
I feel like there should be some. They should all have to like
we all need to work
be
together.
ethical, though. I mean,
It's like the
and
worst
not
thing
as
to do.
much like as a doctor or a lawyer, but I feel like they should all have some sort of oath.
And we have to stand up to them at the end of the day. You know, they can't just.
Right.
A lot of times they'll throw fines at you and say you're good, you know, and say I'm not going to fine you, and end up fining you
Right.
for it, even though you fix the infraction. It's just,
Changing subjects.
Speaking
now.
of different legal stuff, it looks like there's a case, Jesse Ventura versus the Minnesota State Fair. Jesse Ventura is at it again. This time he's calling out the Minnesota State Fair for its outdated cannabis policies. You can puff on a cigarette and toss back a beer, but lighting up a joint, not allowed. Ventura's urging people to boycott the fair, and he's got a solid point. If we're okay with alcohol and tobacco, which are far more harmful, according to this, why are cannabis still being treated like the devil's lettuce? Jesse's not just fighting for fair play at the fair. He's challenging the hypocrisy that still lingers in cannabis policy across the country.
Do you know who Jesse Ventura is?
I don't. Please.
Okay,
fill me
so
in.
Jesse Ventura, former Navy SEAL, he is a war hero. He then left the Navy. He became a wrestler for WCW and like the whole as the changes WCW, WWF, all that. He was Hulk Hogan's alter ego for a while in wrestling, and then he became the governor of Minnesota. And then he got into acting and things like that. And he actually has a show you can go look up. It's Conspiracy Theories with Jesse Ventura, where he, as a governor, goes and tracks people down and talks to them about these crazy things between, like, the HARP up in Alaska, and he tracks down Hillary Clinton's like physician and asks her a bunch of crazy questions about stuff. And it's honestly a really good show for like some deep dives. But I mean, just a little background on the guy that's over there fighting for cannabis. You know, he's got an extensive background
served our
from
country,
work. Yeah.
That's awesome. Shout out to him. That's cool.
That is cool. The other, in other topics, other parts of the U.S., Florida, they just had a $16 million Florida dispensary deal. Florida was cannabis scene just saw a big move, $16 million deal involving licenses, dispensaries, and cultivation facilities. It's not just a business transaction; it's a sign of the times. The Sunshine State's cannabis industry is booming, but there's a flip side to all this growth. Deals like this make you wonder: is the market becoming too corporate? The little guys get squeezed out. We could lose that diversity that makes this industry so unique, right? We have how many strains available to us in Montana at any given time that you can think of? Hundreds, right?
And in the Sunshine Shade, it's actually not that diverse. I said it wrong too. I see.
I messed you up.
Tongue twister.
I got you all messed up.
But when I was there, we spent 6 months in St. Pete, and there was probably about 6 or 7 total different companies with about 100 shops for it just being medical at the time. So they were all over, but it was the same companies, and every one of them pretty much had the exact same strains. You had a G13, you had Triangle Mints, you had some staple East Coast strains, but every shop had the exact same ones.
Now you're seeing a lot of Kush Mints variances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shout out Kush Mints. I got some Kush Scream going right now. It's Kush Mints and Pie Scream.
Ooh.
It's from High Altitude Gardens in Butte. Shout out Joe if he's watching.
We'll have to get those guys on too.
Yeah, he grows some absolute fire weed. Salt based, but it's the best that I've had around Butte. Next to her parents, of course. Shout out to our parents as well. They've helped us a lot.
That generational, cannabis growing and passed down, and it really shows in the work you guys have put in with MoTreats and all the edibles you guys make. It's awesome.
And it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned how your parents, held you accountable till you were 18, all that nonsense. Because in more news, actually, very, very good news in my opinion, cannabis legalization and education and teen use. What do you guys think? All right, so here's what's going on. For years, anti-legalization crowd has been spinning the same old yarn. Legal cannabis is going to turn every teenager into a full-blown stoner. But let's talk the facts. The latest data from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, along with the CDC's Youth Risk and Behavioral Survey, tell a different story. Teen cannabis use has actually declined since legalization. We're talking 18% decline since 2014. And a 26% decrease in high schoolers who currently use it. So much for the Reaper Madness myth. So it looks like, that's actually great. Positive education is
takes away that forbidden fruit appeal,
Absolutely.
It takes it away. And I mean, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about the whole situation overall? Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm happy for it. I think it's great. It goes to show one of the largest arguments that the opponents had was completely fruitless in the end. Just as everyone said.
I feel like I'd be an argument against. I mean, I smoked as a teenager, and yet, here I am. But I'm still smoking weed.
I mean, true.
It's never going to go away.
I smoked when I was young, too. But the truth is that then I took like a long break, and I waited. I'm an advocate at this point. I think you should wait until you're 25, whatever, all that stuff. Like, why not? You're going to live a long, long time.
Right.
You may as well let yourself chill and develop, and then boom.
With the science, for brain development, absolutely. Right. 25 seems like a good mark, but I remember at 15 when my dad was like, I know you're smoking pot. He's like, just want you to be safe about it. And he's sitting here rolling up a joint, and he's like, he lights it, and he's like, I'm not going to hand this to you. And he looks over at my brother, and he hands it to my older brother. He's like, hand that to him. And he fucking hands it to him, and then that was the first time, but it was a responsible talk as well. We sat there and smoked a joint, but it was like, you need to be safe. You need to make sure your pot's not being laced with anything or anything like that on the streets. Things could be crazy. I got that responsible talk.
Well, that's it too. So like I grew up, my generation and my parents were hiding it all the time, so we were constantly like, what is it? What's going on? And we both were potheads. And then my younger brother, it was growing in our backyard, and they were fully open with him about everything at that point, because it was at that point medical, and it was different. It was their job. It was how they were feeding their children. So it was different. And my younger brother, still to this day, he's 29. He's never smoked weed a day in his life.
No interest.
Has no interest in it. And he'll tell you, like, I I mean, make rope, make all the things you want out of it. I think that's great, but I just don't ever think it should be smoked. And I mean, that's his opinion, and
That's fair.
That just goes to show that yes, that is a totally invalid thing that they're worried about
Right.
being available to children. It's not.
Nope.
No dispensary is selling marijuana to your underage children.
No. God, no.
I promise
It's-
you.
no.
If they're getting into stuff, it's you not properly putting it away.
Treat it the
And
same
that's
as
why
alcohol.
every single package that goes out the door says keep out of reach of children and pets.
Exactly.
Yep.
So by that you mean keep it in the freezer, right?
Keep it locked up. You know,
I think
You know,
I think
I
it
mean, be
actually
a
is
responsible
specific in the
adult.
law on that,
Exactly. If you're not
actually.
responsible enough to know where
out
to
of
store
reach.
it,
Right.
Yeah.
Don't-
Clear,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I actually do think the law is very specific about that. I think for home storage, you actually do specifically need to have it in a locked.
especially if you have
secure
children. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like having
That's
a
the worst
weapon.
nightmare.
Like it
Right.
cannot be accessed.
Yep.
And yes, I will contest it does very much mess up animals,
Right.
and it will mess up children. It's not the same for them
No.
at all, and it's definitely not the same for your dogs. So
Yes.
please stop giving your dogs edibles and then wondering why they're, it's not good for them.
No.
Yes,
It is
so-
100% not good for them.
Little PSA, folks. Dogs, cats, all your pets, they cannot process THC.
No.
Their livers physically cannot handle it. What it actually does is build up in their livers over time and causes THC toxicity, whether that be from one large dose or several small doses over time. But it will lead to the death of your dog from an
Yep.
overdose of THC.
Yep.
Now, CBD is good for your pets, and
Right.
it gives them the same effects that THC does in us.
Yep.
So
They're-
if you want to get high with your pet, buy them some
CBD.
CBD treats.
Definitely.
Don't
They're
give them your
endo-
THC treats though.
Yeah. Our yellow lab ate like a whole pan of pot brownies, and like we felt horrible, and we obviously like called the vet, and she's like, "Well, did she get into weed?" And we were like, "There's no way,
Right.
absolutely not." Hung up, and we were like, "Oh no, she's totally high." And it was that she was high for
Yeah.
3 days, and she was immobile, and
Yeah.
never again. And still to this day, she doesn't even look at a pan of brownies.
No,
Yeah,
ever
my
since
dog
the
Diesel
outside-
It's not enjoyable for them.
Fucking
No.
2 days.
It sure is. But
that's the
CBD
worst.
is, and that's
Exactly.
because their endocannabinoid system, their B system, I think, is the one that processes CBD
Yep.
better. Theirs is more effective at processing that than our CB1 receptors are more effective at processing that THC. So
Right. We're fortunate to be able to working with a guy named Matt for the purest CBD isolate around, and we've been able to formulate products with that. We've given Lucy some CBD as well. She's 11 years old.
Mhm.
have you seen
And her
just kind of
mobility for
spring back
sure.
up?
I mean,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
just
she
like,
wants to play fetch. She's
She's like,
active.
act
She's
young
happy.
again for a minute. Like you're not young. I mean, I'll throw this for you, but
It's
then-
so
I
good
wanted
for the
that.
dogs in the long run though, because then they end up losing weight from the increased activity. I mean, how
Well, and if they can be
long
comfortable
ago?
in their last years.
14? Yes, exactly.
Yep. I've used CBD for actually a lot of pets. When I was younger, I got a deformed kitten. She was an inbred kitten, and she had super messed up paws. She walked on one elbow, and then like the other one was like super twisted, and she walked on the outside edge of it. And like she lived in syringe tubes, but she was in chronic pain because of that. And so she got CBD every single day. And like that cat had it down to a science where she knew what time it would be. She'd wait by the counter, and I'd get the dropper out, and she'd crawl up onto my knee and sit down and take a couple drops and run off.
Right.
And then she was a totally different cat after we started using it.
And that's just another thing too, consistently dosing them too. And that goes for us at edibles. If you're not getting the effects you want off of your edibles, I mean, like you need to like be consistently taking them. If you want them to work for a specific reason, you need to take them at night if you want them to sleep and like consistently do it.
Mhm.
And they will eventually you'll start noticing it.
Yeah,
We've-
it's just some.
We've seen pets that were prone to seizures take CBD, and that kind of reversed
Yeah.
their seizures. It's the worst thing you'll ever see is a dog having a seizure, and be able to have something to reverse that and give them to something that acts quick and they can receive it quickly and it reverses it. I mean, my parents lost a dog to a seizure. And my mom at the time, shout out my parents, they've been supportive as well, but it's been a process that way with our cannabis journey too. But I've seen it benefit pets for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you coming in and sharing your cannabis journey with our listeners and everybody at home and things like that. It's been an absolutely amazing show. You guys have brought in some amazing products, and we truly appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Like I said, you guys were one of our first wholesale contacts that were like, hell yeah, bring samples, let's do it. And we're appreciative of it.
Appreciative of everyone. Yeah.
We're now in
Oh, yeah.
almost 52 stores around the state. So
I was gonna say I've seen you guys as far up as Sydney.
Yeah.
I've seen you in stores
yeah,
in
there's
Sydney.
not a spot right now you can't find us. So
We make it. We
next
deliver
time you're
it.
looking.
Yeah, three-person show, but I will say my wife here is the heart of it, man. She works so hard in there. She's so good with metric and compliance and being on top of things, and I couldn't do it without her for sure.
Awesome. Oh,
yeah, look,
there you
we
go.
got there's our look for the little mountains. Our little guy who's hiking up the mountain.
I think we've actually got some photos over in the
And then
drop down as well. of
our
them.
mission statement is there on the back too. So every pack has a little love on the back. And then our QR codes go right to our Instagram. So you can follow us on Instagram. It's the only social media account we have is on Instagram.
There you go.
It's a little higher up than that. Those are the videos. Oh, actually, the packs went away. We've got the nano shots though, right there with the Carta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely go get you some of those. Those are absolutely amazing.
They're a game
And
changer.
yeah, they are. And I mean, the gummies are absolutely amazing too. Like Daniel was saying, no flavor for the not THC flavor, no weed flavor or anything
Right.
like that. No real oily kind of like residue or any of that kind of
No.
taste afterwards. You know, it's just a good gummy.
It's
The
as good as it
watermelon.
can be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The watermelon tastes like sour watermelon Jolly Ranchers. Oh my gosh.
That's what I
Those
was
are my
going for,
favorites.
so.
The strawberry
Well,
margaritas are my
you hit
favorite.
it right on the nose.
Good. Yay.
Awesome.
I think those are Bobby's two favorite too. So she's still watching Schulten's.
Hell yeah. Well, we
Wow.
appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. You know, everybody in the comments, make sure you're coming back and clicking on it again, rewatching. It really boosts the algorithm. We appreciate MoTreats coming in with us tonight. Shout out to all the hosts. You know, we got Michelle, Hannah, Tanaki. We got Daniel, myself, Nate. I'm sure he's tuning in from up at the house. He's not feeling so good, but he will be back next week. And we appreciate you guys, man. So we're going to sign off for the after show.
Yep. Don't forget to still share, like, and subscribe and follow.
All right. Have a good night,
Have a
guys.
good night.
Have a good night, guys.